بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am Nadjia BOUSSEBHA, lecturer at Ahmed Salhi University Center of Nama. First of all, let me express my gratitude to the organization committee for accepting my contribution to this scientific event. My presentation deals with broadening EFL learners' vision of the world through intercultural competence using authentic literary texts. It includes introduction, problem statement, research objectives, research problems, literature review, methodology, findings, implications, conclusion, and recommendation for further research. The phenomenal progression of technology and globalization have caused changes all over the world, like population mobility and cross-cultural contact among diverse linguistic and cultural groups. In this context, the 21st century education demands a shift to an education that develops the skills required to avoid alienation and make sense of the world all around. The use of literary texts, being relevant to cultural issues, by definition create a way to connect EFL learners to different cultures, improve their language skills, develop their intercultural competence, and promote inclusivity and mutual respect. Our EFL students at University Center of Nama are still committed to traditional teaching methodologies. The content knowledge of the course is over-focused at the expense of language proficiency and 21st century education skills. To get our students beyond inclusiveness, there's a need to an effective and appropriate incorporation of intercultural competence. And since the specific characteristic of literature is a reflection of origins and cultures, it has become a needed material for students to learn about and further understand another culture, broaden the vision of the world, and develop their linguistic abilities. The aim of this study is to investigate the potential of authentic literary texts in providing a plethora of strategies adapted in response to the EFL learners' need for developing their intercultural competence and language proficiency, to investigate the teachers' opinions about the use of literature to promote the learners' intercultural competence, to examine students' attitudes towards learning cultures via literary texts. In this context, the main question is, how do authentic literary texts as teaching materials contribute to increase the students' intercultural competence to gain diverse perspectives of the world? To what extent are the teachers ready to promote their learners' intercultural competence? And what are the students' attitudes towards reading literary texts as a means to broaden their intercultural competence? One of the most influential approaches for the teaching of a culture is the one developed by Biram and his European colleagues. Biram posits that language students must develop intercultural communicative competence (ICC) in addition to linguistic skills. According to Biram, the components of ICC are knowledge, savoir, intercultural attitudes, savoir-être, skills of interpreting and relating, savoir comprendre, skills of discovery and interaction, savoir comprendre ou faire, critical cultural awareness, savoir s'engager. In any given context, at least one of the 5 components is required for communicating effectively and appropriately across cultures in foreign language. Previous studies have already shown that reading literary texts engenders skills aligned with Biram's theory of ICC. For example, Razi and Nagibian, in explaining that literature engenders ICC because it is realistic and promotes critical thinking through use of the 4 language skills. By reading literary texts, foreign language learners become able to understand other languages at a deeper level. They develop empathy, understanding towards them, and become able to see similarities between foreign cultures and their own, which helps them value the differences. Therefore, it is claimed that literature provides a means of building bridges of understanding across countries and cultures. It leads to intercultural understanding, which helps foreign language learners to decenter and take up the perspectives of the other, to see the world from another place. Skills to be developed according to Biram: ability to understand cultural content, the target culture, the learner's culture, concepts of culture and personal experiences, ability to compare cultures, and awareness of one's own feelings, perceptions, beliefs, values, and attitudes. The study This study is an exploratory case study which aims at investigating the teacher's opinion about teaching culture using literature as material and scrutinizes the learner's attitudes towards reading literary text to develop their intercultural competence. Only 3 components of Burnham's model of teaching culture to enhance the intercultural competence are taken into consideration in the study: knowledge, intercultural attitudes, and intercultural awareness. Data attainment followed 3 steps. First stage, observation of the teacher's approaches in teaching the different modules in the Department of English in Nama University Center. Second stage, research data was collected by means of learners' questionnaire and semi-structured EFL teachers' interview. Third stage, the researcher taught the target sample lessons of oral expression, then administered the designed questionnaire to students. The results of the interview. In general, the research findings reveal that EFL teachers do not possess adequate intercultural awareness in order to be able to adopt appropriate pedagogy, literary materials, and tasks to develop intercultural communicative competence in EFL classrooms. All teachers emphasize that culture is seldom the objective of their courses. 4 teachers out of 5 claim that intercultural knowledge is not appropriate to their subject of teaching, while 2 teachers used to deal with cultural issues in the oral discussions. 3 teachers out of 5 recognized having a superficial view of intercultural competence since they focus on the communicative approach. Also, 1 teacher thought that teaching literature subject concerns its features rather than its culture issues. 2 teachers confirmed that they are well informed about the importance of intercultural competence in this era of globalization and its utility for the learners' inclusiveness, tolerance, and mutual respect. All teachers expressed their readiness to use literary texts as authentic materials in EFL learners. These results may answer the second question: what are the teachers' opinions about using literary texts to enhance learners' intercultural competence? When it comes to students' questionnaire, students showed an increased interest in reading and interpreting the literary works they were exposed to. Furthermore, they developed positive attitudes towards the intercultural knowledge through literature in oral expression session during 4 sessions. In general, the percentages show that 86% of students found that literary texts meet their needs in developing their intercultural competence. 91% of them agree that the content-based lessons are frustrating since their comprehension necessitates memorization, and 78% confirm that intercultural knowledge develop pride of their own culture, broaden their vision of the world, and meet the modern context of technology and globalization. These results may answer the question: what are the learners' attitudes towards using literary texts to develop their intercultural knowledge? Implications in EFL. If EFL teachers at Nama University Center want to prepare students for success in this interconnected world, intercultural competence must form an integral part of the curriculum. They should introduce cultural content into their teaching practice by using authentic material as literature in their classrooms. EFL learners' intercultural competence initiate their teachers' awareness and positive attitudes.